So I wanted to open up to questions, so if anybody has any questions, yes, you.
I'd like to say that I'm also Chinese Vietnamese, so thank you so much for being here. I think this might be the first time I'm seeing a Chinese.
Sorry.
You're that for me right now. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't see myself ever. I mean, I get really excited when Vietnamese people come up. But I want to my question is, what advice would you give your younger self?
It's gonna suck, but it's gonna be okay. I mean, that's not really advice, because I went through a lot of really bad, and then there's whole mental health tied to depression and a lot of other stuff that I would need content warnings for. But I guess my general advice is that I was not living my best life because I always thought there's pressure to be perfect in a specific way that I was the happiest when I wasn't trying to fit someone else's ideal. So, and I'm still working on that, but that's part of what it's a work in progress, but I think definitely when I was much younger, I was always I'm never gonna be good enough, and I was always trying to be, but whose definition of good enough was what I was working with. So do your best, live your best life. It's gonna be okay.
Other questions? I'm coming down here to give you guys stickers. Like I'm an Oprah. Sticker for you.
Live under your seat. We have a microphone.
Right there.
Do you want it?
That's too much power.
No, not enough.
Hello?
She's not Slytherin, so she's not used to power.
Here's a sticker. Yeah, I don't know if that's working.
Yeah.
Awesome. So as someone who was adopted from Shanghai as a baby and grew up in a white family in Maine, my whole life, my whole life I definitely felt kind of within and without, just so on the outside of everything and not belonging to either or. So I guess my question is for you guys, how do you find validity through your day? You have a racist encounter, or you see something and it's just upsetting, or you don't feel enough, what do you do just in the day-to-day to ground yourself and feel whole?
Well, I have found through therapy to slow down if anything happens that's negative from the external world, to slow down and just focus on your breath, focus back onto being here, present now, because ultimately, no matter what happens externally, you're okay, and I think with that practice, it's just being in integrity with yourself moment to moment, and yeah, getting centered again, because who you are is enough. Who you are right now is safe and is loved, and just kind of slowing down. It's a little bit of therapy. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Actually, no. Adding my second part of therapy is I have to talk to people, because I'm a really strong introvert and I'll go into a deep dark hole, and if anyone follows Chantal,
oh yeah,
we do at least 1 to 2 weekly phone calls with our mate Celia. So the three of us will FaceTime. Even though Chantal lives 15 minutes from me, we have to include Celia.
We have
a third one in New York.
We have a weekly
call.
check-in.
Yeah.
Because I think having sisters
or the sisterhood thing has helped. And then I'll go get boba.
It's a running joke, but it's not.
It's not a joke.
So I think it's really good that we're talking about supporting other cultures. And I have been on the web a lot, so I go to YouTube. And I was wondering what you guys thought about the LGBT material coming out of there, like the rich man's daughter,
That's Rand Ramos's movie. A show, right?
Right. You guys know
She was in my film, so I know.
Empty by Design, Paris 510. Closing night of
Yeah, I'm APFS.
plugging.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Rich Man's Daughter is very telenovela. I've only seen an episode or two. How is that? That's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, for free.
All of it.
Yeah. So it's a media recommendation called Rich Man's Daughter on YouTube. Yeah, content.
Hi, I'm Ellen. I'm Taiwanese, born in Colorado. And just a reminder that there's a half Taiwanese woman on the main stage right now that 1,000 women are cheering for. So there is representation and people don't even know it. I went to a panel that Justin Lin was on at the LA Asian Film Festival, and he was talking about how China doesn't care about Chinese American film or Asian American film. And I wanted you guys to talk about, like, what is it about the overseas Asian countries that don't care about us and making our content?
I mean, I think it's a cultural element to it as well. That the identity of being an Asian American is different than like mainland China or Vietnamese. But I think studios, whatnot, they're trying to bridge that gap. But I think it may be like a more cultural thing, and I respect that in some ways, and it's fine because for me as an Asian American, I feel that's a very separate identity, and those are I'm championing different stories as well than maybe.
Going when you're abroad, all of the content has Asians on it, so that's it's not saying that they don't care about the Western culture and all that. It's just that they don't necessarily need it. So when they have Matt Damon playing a Chinese person, to them it's just a different story.
Great role.
Yeah, he saved us. I feel it's just different cultures, and coming from someone who has been raised in that culture, I would just want to bridge the gap. I don't necessarily want to replace it, just want to bring it together. So it's very nice to have both of that. But I understand where they're coming from, because in the Philippines, their industry is so large, they don't need any of this. But I want to reach out to everyone. Filipinos living in America and in France and in Canada, they're not getting the content from back home. I feel that that's what Justin's doing.
I know in Bollywood, hold on here. I know in Bollywood recently, we had a movie called Ek Ladki Do Dekha Ho, I think. And it was like the first Bollywood movie that had like a lesbian storyline in it. It was a little bit problematic, classic. But it was cool to see. I mean, like along that lines of like when you look at Asian country cinema, where you're not really seeing a lot of Asian American kind of storylines, but you're also starting to see a little bit of emergence of like queerness, which I think is really, really interesting. And also I feel like it's definitely an influence of us in the Western world being like, we're queer, we're here, get fucking used to it. And we are from a continent of literally billions of people, so of course there are queer people here. Statistically, getting that math in, there are people. And I think that's really cool, like to see like these huge bastions of like cinema in China and India starting to embrace different storylines, however slow it may be, I think is really validating. Personally speaking, for me, to see like my mother country celebrating queerness in a way. So it doesn't feel like my queerness and my Asianness are mutually exclusive. It feels like they exist at the same time.
The Philippines is slowly celebrating it. The show that you're mentioning, Rich Man's Daughter, but also there's a lot of queer. Bakuga, Sam's film, and she also has another film called
Emma.
Thank you. Which should be in LA soon. But yeah, it's really nice to see. I do know that in China, they still recut films, foreign films that have LGBTQ in it. I'm very curious to watch the Bohemian Rhapsody cut. It's not that, I mean, I don't like the film, but wow, how do you recut that?
So we have time for one last question. So you guys were talking about queer person of color rep in media and stuff, and I was just wondering, have you ever heard or seen The Trouble? And if you have, how do you feel about the queer Asian rep in the show and how they're doing Asian characters in the stories?
I've seen the first episode, but I'm excited for Sherry Cola and the fact that there's queer Asian American storyline with, and the romance is with another Asian American, and so that's very interesting because we don't often get to see that in terms of like, if there's relationship, it's often interracial, it's often interracial with another white person. So I'm excited to see how that's going to be explored in the storyline, and I can't speak to, since I've only seen one episode. But I like the first episode, and